Hello, I'm Chris Evans and I'm going to be talking to you about using Zoom for teaching. In this episode, I'm going to be looking at how to make Zoom meetings secure. At the time I made this video, there had been a lot of fuss about uninvited people walking in on your virtual classrooms, a phenomenon called Zoom bombing. Part of the cause of this was that the meeting ID for your classroom was readily visible at the top of the Zoom window, a characteristic that Zoom has since addressed and removed that. What it meant was that anybody with that meeting ID was usually able to walk in on your meeting uninvited. By default, there was no particular password protection. I'm going to suggest 4 things that you should do to try and make your meetings secure. My first tip is to set a password. Now, a password doesn't make Zoom quite as secure as you might think, and I'm going to explain why. So we're going to set up the password requirement. So I'm going to click on the schedule icon at the bottom left here, and you can see this section that says password, and I've got ticked require meeting password. You can use a mixture of letters and numbers. Hello 99, and now I'm going to click schedule, and you'll see how the information about the meeting is communicated. So here are the details. So this has the meeting ID, and here is the password. So participants usually will need to know both of these things. There is also a URL. The URL, however, contains an encrypted version of the password. And that means that anyone with that URL only needs to click on the link, and they don't need to know what the password is. They don't need to enter the password. It's automatic. So if you were to share this information, or even just share this URL, and anyone outside of your class had access to it, they would be able to Zoom bomb your meeting. My second tip is to make sure that the meeting ID is generated automatically for the meeting. All you have to do is make sure that you select the left hand generate automatic meeting ID option. I've hidden the right hand one because that contains my personal meeting ID. Anyone with that ID can then visit my personal meeting room. So I don't want to share that with anybody, ideally. My next 2 tips relate to making use of Zoom's security features. In the bottom panel, there's a new security icon, and that can be used to do various things that help you manage unwanted guests. But the one I want to draw your attention to is the first one, which says lock meeting. This essentially locks the virtual door so that no one outside of the meeting can then enter. So if you know for sure that everybody is present, you can lock the meeting. Now, there are some meetings for which that might not be appropriate. So if you're running some kind of a workshop, particularly an international workshop, you might have people arriving at different times. People might often be late. It might not be appropriate, but ask yourself, would it be appropriate to lock the door?